Grassroots Sessions.
We are all gonna suffer. Each and every one of us was born here. Each and every one of us. So let's just love each other. Each and every one of us was born here. Each and every one of us.
It's laborious and notorious. The glory of the one God story is. This is man-made. You can be sure that this war has arisen a metaphor to threaten the poor with his corneas. Do not be fooled by the wrath of death. Mirroring the weapon weaver's graph of net profit. Alchemical wedding, you cannot stop it. Geometrical spectacle will break down the wall. Cold spell, no hell over the hole. Well and truly the targets are some woven cold. And where we once shared the onus of some ancient gnosis. Abracadabra ain't no fucking hocus pocus. You were woke, chose his focus and you're spoken. Mobius a master coping with your biblical potion. You say God is a man and his son is divine. You have developed a blind and shook him out of vagina. We are all gonna suffer. Each and every one of us was born here. Each and every one of us. Sing along with us. Come on, sing along. Let's just love each other. Each and every one of us was born here. Each and every one of us. How do you know which moon we're on? Mobius, loop is a union of duality. This is the fallacy. We're living in a galaxy where the queen isn't giving me a palace key. In school we're taught to comply, observe and obey until the day we die. There is a way for I and I to reclaim fire, oscillate the grave that would pacify. The name is an equation, check your spelling. If you're alive and you don't find life compelling, then you're missing the point. Listen to this and annoying. You have the mission to clairvoyant, the vision of those buoyancy. But let them make you build another war toy and see you shift the consciousness, give the responsiveness from the omnibus when you play the organs, resonate with sacred chord. And we are all gonna suffer. Each and every one of us was born here. Each and every one of us. Yeah. Come on, sing along, come on. So let's just love each other. Each and every one of us was born here. Each and every one of us. Because we're made out of dust, resonating particles, but who do you trust? Dust the pentacles will wipe out existence. When you psych out the system, you can find out the listeners we class. Christ masters the heights of our past. It's the hype of the century for these psychopaths who see no reason to redeem freedom, groom the human tougher. Some other yes, we're all gonna suffer for this dimension's key. I have empathy that they prevent in me. We resent the torches, 70% water, heavy where we went to all of the moment who fought you, brought you to the pinnacle of forgiveness. Decided to live this life of colliding religions and divided the witches from a Coleman's rights. The Pope is a wise old fella with his #1 best-selling anthropocentric novella. Teleporting the thoughts of his celestial fella. You tell a hell of a lot of poppycock. The womb we were blooming is the heaven you forgot. Now we are all gonna suffer. Each and every one of us was born here. Each and every one of us. Yeah, one more time. Sing on, sing along. Let's just love each other. Each and every one of us was born here. Each and every one of us.
Hello, beautiful beings. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's Grassroots session. Thank you to our amazing patrons for making these videos possible. If you'd like to become a patron of this channel, please check out the link below. And if you enjoyed today's song, then please feel free to pop a quid in our virtual hat via the link below.
Thank you so much. We love you all.
Yes. Today we're going to talk a bit about the song today, which Alex wrote, and it's called Us. Would you like to talk
It's
about
called
the song?
Us when we write it on our set list, but it's actually called Each and Every One of Us.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, we abbreviate it
Yeah.
because it's set lists.
It's actually on a t-shirt though, Us, isn't it?
Is it?
Looks like,
Oh, yeah.
Looks like it says US.
Yeah, that was the worst t-shirt we released.
Check out our t-shirt designs on our website. Better buy that.
Mobius. Loop. Yeah, so the song is called Each and Every One of Us, and it is a song about the
You always tap.
Do I?
Yeah, it's really nice.
We should leave this in, it's great, I love it. Alright.
We're doing a new thing where we're not doing any cuts, alright? So everything Alex says is in the video.
Yeah.
No cuts.
Yeah, no nonsense, no cuts.
Yes.
Quick video, snappy. People need to know what these songs are about, but they don't have all day. Get on with it. Okay, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit notifications. Here's a very quick synopsis of what this song is about. Is that the right word? Check it out in the dictionary. Alright, so Each and Every One of Us is a rap I've written about the patriarchy. I was raised in a Roman Catholic church, both primary school and high school. And
you weren't raised in a Roman Catholic church.
Yeah, what?
You weren't.
That's the first cut.
You're not cutting it out.
Alright, we'll leave that in. I was educated in a Roman Catholic primary school and high school. We don't have scripts, you see. This is what happens, you know. And we're strapped for time, apparently, because we're trying to get like loads of these grassroots sessions done. Because we're loving the responses. And yeah, his naps are getting smaller. So basically, this goddess I'm kissing here has opened my mind up to the patriarchies that we live in. And I wanted to write a rap that really just gave my perception on that as a male. And you know, you say God is a man and his son is divine. You've developed a blindness. You came out of vagina, and it's just like line. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up.
I can't really hear it in the fast rap. Yeah, it's brilliant.
Aligning with Katie and getting to know the natural cycles of moon times and all this is just really opened my mind up to the idea that you know, calendars are very much just like a business regime. Christmas is a part of that business regime. That's like the big sell everything moment. And you know, even the indoctrination of the Christian religion, you know, my family have been known, because they're all from Ireland, they've been known to sell relics of Jesus, and he's like this blonde guy with white skin, really pale white skin, who wouldn't last 2 seconds in the desert, never mind 40 days without any food or water. So yeah, you know, we're just aware of that, and aware that there's been a massive reinterpretation of Jesus. And it's also, you know, one who's that comedian, I think it's Louis C.K., sums it up like Christianity won, you know, and the joke is, well, what's the date, you know, what's the date today? And it's like, well, it's 2021 years since Jesus' birth. Yeah. It's like, how has that happened? Also, type in the Bible to the internet, into Wikipedia, it's the #1 best-selling book ever. Like, you know, and they're just everywhere, them things.
What's
the
Bible
Bible
you say about with his #1?
Oh yeah, just being a little bit silly there, because obviously the Bible's a massive book and there's a lot of good stuff in it, but it's just drowning in patriarchy and rules about, you know, I mean, it's homophobic, it's sexist, it's misinterpreted who Jesus was, which is racist, you know, and it's discriminatory against so many things, because it's a mono religion and a patriarchy. Yeah, so that lyric you're on about is the Pope is a wise old fella with his #1 best-selling anthropocentric novella. You know, novella being a small book. Oh. We play that. Some audiences, usually the alcohol-free ones, laugh their heads off all the way through that song, because they're like proper like whoa, you know. But yeah, it's even if you're not listening that closely, it's got a good drive in that song, and it's on our Gemini album. That's and my brother Sean is drumming all over it, and I'm on piano, and it's a lovely version of it. That one, isn't it?
Yeah, very good.
What were we gonna say?
I was gonna say.
Has this been quick enough?
No, it's ages.
It's been taking ages.
No,
we don't own watches. We're literally using the moon as a clock. So it's waxing, by the way, today. Yeah.
1/4 waxing.
It's 1/4 wax.
So I was going to say that the chorus of "We're all gonna suffer" might sound like a pretty negative things to be singing, but I think that Christianity especially has this message that.
Did you write that?
No.
Did I write that?
Yeah, you wrote it. And Christianity especially has this message of you know, you're suffering because Jesus suffered for you, and Jesus suffered for all your sins, and then that's why you suffer.
I don't think I wrote that. I think you wrote it.
I didn't write that, because I would have been the one saying, I don't really want to sing "You're all gonna suffer." Right. It's a bit of a negative mantra, but I kind of get what you're saying in terms of we're all here living together in samsara as equals. We're all temporary. Everyone has to experience loss, suffering, grief. not just
Yeah.
Jesus on a cross.
So because of the negative connotations, I'm Katie's ghostwriter in this instance.
I
for
didn't
that
write
chorus.
that.
Yeah, we know you didn't, love. We know you didn't. But we
So,
did.
is there anything else? If you have any questions about the lyrics,
How long was that silence?
do you have any questions about the many lyrics in this very fast song?
Many.
Please feel free to ask it in the
Yeah.
in the comments below, and Alex will get back to you with a giant paragraph
I
about
will.
everything he has to
I
say.
shall. And I must. Legalese. Must means you may. Don't let anyone shut your shop down.
Yeah, so there is some legalese in that song, actually.
Yeah, there's loads of legalese. There's loads of stuff. Yeah, I don't want to wishy-washy it. There's loads of stuff that I've learned from other incredible minds, like my own father, and the many debates I had at his house with artists. Like, they were dissecting the patriarchy when I was like 16, 17, 18 years of age. There was many debates going on in this wonderful Bohemian house at my dad's house. And I was just like literally always filling a pad full of all these different ways of looking at religion and history, and just, yeah, they were coming at it from an artistic angle, because my dad was in the fine art circles in Preston in Lancashire at the it still is, but that was what was going on there. And obviously a lot of religion funded some of the most immense works of arts we have today, all the Da Vinci stuff, patronised by the church, Michelangelo, just many great male artists. Check out our other grassroots session called The Orgasm Song. That will elaborate on this a lot more. And there's more facts in that song as well. So yeah, we just, a song like this isn't trying to diminish some of the positive stuff the church has done. The church has been responsible for bring communities together to work together to build incredible temples that celebrate divine geometry, and the church has been responsible for inspiring great works of art and incredible works of poetry and writings, and so many things that are just, is such a shame the whole red tent didn't run alongside that equally. We're still shaking off the shackles of this patriarchy, and it runs really deep, and this song is just basically elaborating upon that. And if anyone wants to learn it, there's very simple chords: D minor, F major, G minor, A major. But we are putting all our songs, lyrics and chords up on our website this year, probably before summer, I hope. Yeah. And you'll all hear about that, because we'll be making a song and dance about it. Yes. It's half past waxing. Hello, beautiful beings, welcome back. I thought I'd just add a little bit more about the lyrics, because we watched it back and realised I didn't actually elaborate on the lyrics as much as we wanted me to. So I'm here to just go through them a little bit with you. The song starts with, "It's laborious how notorious the glory of a one God story is." And it's just, that really just sets it off to a sort of anti-patriarchy song, with the perception of being sick of this patriarchy and really wanting change in this world. The lyrics go on to say, "This is man-made. You can be sure that this war be his. Arisen a metaphor to threaten the poor with his corneus. The corneus is the Baphomet. Do not be fooled by the wrath of debt, mirroring the weapon weaver's graph of net profit." It's just talking about how they try and intimidate us with wars, and the inevitability of war with basically our own human race. We are all a human family, and I feel like the weapons industry is just it's trying to make as much profit as it can, and it's a major player in the global stock markets and all that. So it's obviously war is of financial interest. Alchemical wedding, you cannot stop it. Geometrical spectacle will break down the wall. This is all about for me personally, my union with Katie has brought me so much peace and harmony, and this alchemical wedding that people have, it's something other than the religious weddings that are laid out for us. We're very much aware that a wedding in a church, when you sign the documents, it's all to do with property law and ownership, and Katie and I aren't about that. Our wedding is every day that we're together, and
the alchemical wedding of also making children and then giving your utmost to try and raise the most beautiful beings in this world, to tend the garden and make this world a more beautiful place to live. It's a metaphor for breaking down the wall of control in our minds. And and then the next line, go spell no hell over the whole. That's a play on the word gospel, like a form of magic. Go spell no hell over the whole. Well and truly the targets of some unwoven coven. The red tent, the witch's coven, where we once shared the onus of some ancient gnosis. Abracadabra ain't no bleeping hocus pocus. It's really resonating with the notion that spelling and what we say really does ripple out and have an effect. The projection of our consciousnesses, music. We are made up of vibration. You walk into a room and the energy of the people in there can, if they're happy, you feel it. If they're sad, you feel it. Some of us are more intuitive to this than others, and some days you're more intuitive to it than on other days. And we have a far more of a telepathic connection with each other than we're led to believe. And so the whole idea, I'm playing go spell no hell. I'm playing with the phonetics and the word magic that religions are very much founded upon. Religions such as Christianity and Catholicism were founded on relying on the illiteracy of the people that they controlled. The great gates at the Duomo in Florence, for example, there's an example of them in the Harris Museum in Preston, in our hometown. They were literally created to show an illiterate community what happens to you if you disobey God and the story of Jesus. They've all been depicted through images, because it was only the educated priests and people who looked after the money that knew how to read and write, really. And they prevented all many forms of society from being able to communicate like that. The new illiteracy today is us not knowing about the language of law and legalese. You were woke and chose this focus on your spoken, copious amounts of coping with your biblical potion. That's going back to the religion and saying your consciousness has opened up, and then they've literally chosen to focus on word magic. Religions are responsible for destroying many communities, magical communities that were living in harmony with nature. And the witches that were able to heal people from the natural plants, witch meaning wise woman. The religions themselves have set out to indoctrinate the world with this religion, and that's why we see English being spoken in so many parts of the world now. It's pretty incredible, the amount of missionaries on a mission to go out there with this book, this best-selling book, and try and teach the barbaric people, as they would have put it, and the indigenous peoples. Today we fight for the rights of indigenous people because there's barely any left, and we recognise that they have a great connection with nature, and that we're pulling ourselves away from some of those amazing things. And I think we need to find a balance between the immense technology that we've managed to create off the journey that the human race has been through, but also that indigenous tribal knowledge and wisdom needs to be put alongside it and cherished, just like the red tent of the goddess and the mother needs to be in harmony with the father, and we move forwards from there. And thankfully we're seeing the patriarchy shift now and start to crumble in its glory and power. Focus on your spoken, copious amounts of coping with your biblical potion. You say God is a man and his son is divine. You have developed a blindness. You came out of vagina. So it just sums it up right there. That's the first verse. And then the second verse, how do you know which moon we on? Mobius loop is the union of duality. This is the fallacy. We're living in a galaxy where the queen isn't giving me her palace key. The inequalities that we live with today that have very much been, backed up by religion and the power of religion, is just, it's farcical to say the least. We're all one people, one world in one big beautiful galaxy, and I can see that as history has brought us forwards, people have fought each other because they've been worried of being captured by that tribe or that tribe, and all of as this has moved on for thousands of years, it's become what we have today, where we've got like monarchies and we've got massive plutocracies. Your name is an equation, check your spelling. If you're alive and you don't find life compelling, then you're missing the point. Listen to this and anoint. You have the mission to clairvoyant, the vision of love's buoyancy. And on the surface it is what it is, that poetry, but then it goes deeper for me. Your name is an equation, check your spelling. Jemai, our first son, who's a beautiful angel now, his name is actually an equation that Katie chose as a name for our son, taken from my dad's artwork. You go and check that out at 515.world, and check your spelling. It's an inspiration to you all to realize that you are the masters of your own projection of consciousness. You can name yourself whatever you want. Katie and we changed our names to Rose Orion when Zaya was born, because we needed a massive shift in energy in order to ground ourselves from the trauma of Jemai returning to spirit. If you're alive and you don't find life compelling, then you're missing the point. And that is a double meaning, because 0.515 times pi equals phi. It's another part of my dad's artwork. Go and check that out. It's fascinating work what he's been doing with divine geometry, and I think you'll really like it. And listen to this anoint. You have the mission to clairvoyant, the vision of love's buoyancy. Don't let them make you build another war toy and see a shift of consciousness. Again, for me as a writer, my dad is a massive inspiration. He worked at British Aerospace, as did many people. It's the biggest employer in Preston. And British Aerospace make weapons, and my dad couldn't sit with that eventually, and he quit, and then he spent many years protesting outside the gates, and he invited me along, and we stood there, and he explained to me so much about why we shouldn't spend our lives building these things for profit that destroy people's lives. And a lot of people at BAE, they base the industry there on Fordism, which is where people don't realize they're making a weapon. At the end of the day, this person puts this bolt on, this person puts this tire on, this person puts this bit on, someone puts the gun on. But at the end of the day, they don't. A lot of the employees, they're just lovely people who don't realize the actual end objective of that is that a bomb gets dropped on innocent people, and lots of money are being made off these weapons. And don't let them make you build another war toy and see a shift of consciousness. I saw that with my own eyes. My dad was a different man from when he was working at British Aerospace to when he became this incredible artist who's making work about peace, love, unity, and the sacred geometry and the flowering of our consciousness is a gift of responsiveness. Like, that's what that shift of consciousness is. You will receive the gift of responsiveness if you remain open to it from the omniverse. Another word my dad taught me, not the universe, the omniverse, where you play the organs, this musical vibrations running through everything, resonate to a sacred chord, and we are all gonna suffer. Each and every one of us was born here, each and every one of us, so let's just love each other. Each and every one of us was born here, each and every one of us. We all deserve the right to have a peaceful and harmonious life, not just because we are the heirs to a billionaire franchise or something like this. Everybody deserves it, and I wish it for us all. And then that last verse, because we're made out of dust, resonating particles, but who do you trust? A gust of pentacles could wipe out existence. When you psych out the system, you can find out the listeners who class Christ's mass as the heist of our past. It's the hype of the century for these psychopaths. It's incredible, especially the last 100 years. Christmas has just become this pinnacle of conglomeracy and sell, and we all just get drawn into it. Like I said earlier in the other video, it's like, and we can't let go. It becomes so much a part of our modern tradition that we're like, oh my God, I need to buy loads of things in order to appease this notion that I am part of a family that celebrates Christmas. And you just snap out of it. You don't have to do that. Celebrate December 21st around a fire with some people and some music, and share some vegan food, because like you don't have to be drawn into this Christmas thing. Celebrate Veganuary instead. For these psychopaths whom see no reason to redeem freedom, groom the human tougher. You know, that redeem freedom, it harks back to Adam and Eve. What were they doing? They were walking around the Garden of Eden, eating fruits and vegetables and not harming anyone, any being. And like they write that in their own Bible and then hoist it up as the pinnacle of ethics and morals, but they're not putting it back into play. I've been to the Vatican. My dad took me there when I was a young man with my brother Shauno, and it was very educational to see the immense statues and artwork and the power of the Vatican. And we went there. My dad was like, one day I may have to bring my magic caravan here, son. Hypersensitive psychopaths who see no reason to redeem freedom, groom the human tougher. For some mother, yes, we're all going to suffer from this dimensions key, the vibration, the musical key. I have empathy that they prevent in me. I did, we must choose to be more empathic, but there is an element of prevention going on when corporations lie to you about where your things are coming from, and you're hidden from knowing the truth about bombs being dropped on people, and Fordism in BAE, and veganism opening our eyes up to the slaughterhouses that we weren't told about. We resent the torture. We all resent torture. 70% water, like that's the lyric. We're literally mainly water. Heaven be where we went to war. Like we literally, all the wars that have ever happened have happened on earth, and earth is where heaven is. It's not in the clouds, it's not after you die. This is heaven right now, and this is where you make your peace with God or goddess or whatever you want to call it. Gaia, my dad calls it G-E-M-I. Heaven be where we went to war. Love the poor man who fought you, bought you, or brought you to the pinnacle of forgiveness. No matter how bad anyone's treated you, if you can take anything from the Catholics and the Christian message, is that forgiveness, forgive thy enemy. This guy Jesus, he said that forgiveness is the most important part of that, and the only thing I can take from it. You've decided to live this life of collided religions. Like, it's just, for too long have these monotheistic patriarchies been justifying wars. Like, look back through history. At the front of all of these wars, there was priests blessing the weapons that people murdered each other with. It's like, how much of a contradiction to Jesus' message do you want to be? It just shows the farcical nature of it all. And that's why we're going through these shifts now, with the reawakening of the red tent and the woman coming into her element and her fire again, and showing us this is not how we raise our children to be hateful to each other. We need peace and love and unity on this world and for this future. And divided the witches from her coven's rights. That's the next lyric. It is what it is. The Pope is a wise old fella with his #1 best-selling anthropocentric novella, teleporting the thoughts of a celestial speller. That's about Jesus. There's been many, many Jesuses. People who come here with incredible ways of translating what's going on in the divine geometry, the unseen and the seen, and being able to spell. Come and dance. Fella, you tell a hell of a lot of poppycock. Love that phrase. The womb you were bloomed in is the heaven you forgot. Mwah. All of the beautiful innocent children were made in the womb of the woman. How can we have grown through life with these patriarchies and not have temples dedicated to that majestic womb? And if anything, the Vesica Pisces is that hidden sacred celebration of the feminine, and it's incredible to be at a time where we now see the awakening of that and the flowering of our consciousnesses towards a more empathic and beautiful world for all beings, including the actual earth that we live and breathe upon. So hope that helped elaborate on the lyrics. I mean, I went as deep as I possibly could there, and I watched back the earlier video and thought, I need to comb through these lyrics with you all and just give you a deeper understanding of how I wrote it. We were under a lot of pressure earlier trying to get it done before Zaya woke up, and obviously, because I wrote it, it's difficult for Katie to sit there and just listen to me waffle on. So thank you so much for joining us today on Grassroots Sessions. We are so grateful to all of our patrons supporting us on Patreon, and to everyone sticking a little donation in our PayPal link beneath. So thank you so much for supporting our Nomadic family. We could not do this without you. Blessings, beautiful beings. Mwah, mwah. Grassroots Sessions is made possible by our wonderful patrons who support us on Patreon. Thank you so much to all of you beautiful beings.
Please join our Patreon today to help us create more videos. Donations are also very welcome here.